Alrighty. Okay. So I'm Steve Perez. I'm with Velox Global Solutions. I'm the general manager. I do logistics, I do transportation, and I also do software.
And let's start. The first one, Steve, is this report. By all accounts, is a new report from Index at the national level. We should tell the viewers that Index is the trade association for the maquiladora industry. A new report on nearshoring and who's benefiting from nearshoring in Mexico. We're hearing so much about what a boom it is, but this report says that Tamaulipas is not doing so well. They're not really attracting the companies from the Far East. Nuevo Leon is, and the interior of Mexico. There's certain states that are doing super well, but Tamaulipas is not. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. My thoughts on that is basically, the manufacturing companies obviously are going to choose where their low cost is with all pieces. Labor, transportation, raw materials, all that nice stuff, infrastructure. So Tamaulipas right now, doesn't have all the infrastructure. Brownsville doesn't have all the infrastructure, so we keep losing those, competitive advantage, and that's what we need to work on. We need to be able to bring back our hub, bring back the logistics hub that we had many years ago, including air freight and vessels, containers. It's not easy, but until we get a lower price index here, we will not be attractive. But if we can flip it, we will be attractive, and then we can start saying, hey, we're growing more than Nuevo Leon or maybe more than Coahuila.
So your thought is that it's all to do with infrastructure,
Yes.
Not so much the perception of Tamaulipas being a violent state.
Obviously, all Mexico has that issue. So why is it not that a deterrence to go to Jalisco, to go to Guadalajara, to go to Querétaro? They have issues too. Just check those reports and you will see theft everywhere. So does the U.S. We also have theft issues. Dallas, check it out. So that's not a deterrence. The shippers look for low cost. If they're changing from China or Vietnam or whatever Asian country that we're in, and they're looking at Mexico, they're looking at a lot of factors. And overall, those factors have to come down to low cost. It's not just low labor or low cost labor. It's all the combinations.
Could it also be in any way related to the governance of Tamaulipas? Is the government there, the state government, business friendly?
I would say all state governments are friendly. Obviously, they want to bring in maquiladoras to have their people working. So I don't see that as a deterrence. I think it's again back to infrastructure. We have history to showcase our area, Brownsville. Back in the 1860s, we had the infrastructure. We had the ocean. There were smaller boats, of course. We had the barge, that was a bridge. We had the river boats. We had the infrastructure. That's why Brownsville was big, 1860s, of course. But history tells us we can bring it back if we build the infrastructure.
Next question. I know that last week, you had a big event at the eBridge Center. Unfortunately, we were not there to capture the news. Tell us what you launched, what you announced at eBridge.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Steve. So what we launched is software. We launched what's called the electronic bill of lading. It's software for the drivers because obviously they're having some issues. Not all, but some of them have issues. And also for the forwarders, the warehouses, some of them have issues. And what happens in the industry is that sometimes, collections get, slowed down because of the bill of lading. Who has the bill of lading? And whoever has the bill of lading and they've delivered, then they can collect. So it's kind of like that infrastructure. We're helping our local community with that because we want to be able to keep, bringing funds back to our community so they can invest in more trucks or more warehouses. And you can see where that trend will go up. And we're ready with that logistics, ground station, then they're able to service the maquilas that come in the near future. Because it's all about service. If those maquilas look at our region and we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the service, we don't have the software, and we're still paper-based, they're not coming. And we can see it, they're not coming. And that's why we're suffering.
What was the reaction to the launch?
There was
feedback.
We had good feedback from certain carriers and certain forwarders. So we're obviously, releasing some things, upgrades, and so that's where we are right now. So thank you for asking.
My last question: we're here at the Brownsville Event Center. the keynote speaker today at this event hosted by the Brownsville Chamber has been Mayor John Cowan, and in the Q&A afterwards you had a question for the Mayor. Give us a recap on what you were asking of him and what you thought of his answer.
Yeah, thanks for asking. So we were asking if there was an agenda, right? An agenda of marketing, promotion, pushing our region. Even though we're still building up our infrastructure, what are we doing now? Because we've seen other regions, when they collaborate, when they get together, you know, they grow 2x, 3x, you know, and we haven't grown in 35 years. So we can actually forecast. If we do nothing, we get nothing, which is the same issues happening with Tamaulipas. So if they do it alone and we do it alone, you know, we're just struggling. We need to join. We need to join forces, have an agenda, have a marketing plan, have a focus, and just promote, you know, our area. And those are the key things that we were talking about, and he answered those questions. He did say that there is some collaboration already with Index Matamoros and also with a private group called CODEM. I think that's a good direction.
Those are all the questions I had, Steve. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Sure. You know, for the business community, we need to also, you know, give the story out. You know, the logistics community is the number one right now. Okay? It was in the past and it's back. It does help for the companies that have come in, including SpaceX. We know they're here. And right now, that's still logistics because they're going to be moving cargo.
Thank you, Steve, so much.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot.
Thank you.